So let's look at number 1. This is solving by substitution, all right? What do you guys notice? They're in both what form? Cody? I'm recording. I'm recording. Okay. Do you guys notice how these are both y equals something, y equals something?
Yeah, just do it again. Do it over.
All right. No, it's fine. I can edit. All right. Do you guys notice how it's y equals a whole bunch of stuff, and then y equals a whole bunch of stuff? You guys see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set y equal to y. Okay? So, Isis, which x is bigger, -8 or +8?
+8.
So I'm going to have positive 8x minus 12 on the left-hand side, and I'm going to have the negative 8x plus 20 on the right-hand side. Okay? If I do it that way, I don't have to work with negative numbers, which Heidi could really help you out, okay? How do you get rid of this negative 8x? Because we want x. Yeah, we want x equals some number, right? So let's get rid of this x on the right-hand side. So how do we get rid of a negative 8x? Positive 8x. But remember, what you do to one side, you gotta do the other. Sounds familiar, right? Yeah, go ahead and do that if you want. So how do you get rid of the minus 12? Again, it's x equals some number. There's minus 12 on the left-hand side, so get rid of it. So what's 8x plus 8x? 16x. What's 20 plus 12? 32, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. And then how do we get rid of a multiplying 16? Very good. I'm recording, man.
Mr. Webb, 4? Is it?
2. If you guys don't know for sure, just type in your calculator. 32 divided by 16. Did you do 16 divided by 32? You got 0.5, didn't you? Yeah. All right. That's half our answer.
Wait, that's half. I thought that was the answer.
It's half of it. Because remember when you did graphing, it was x comma y, right? We found x. We just need to find y. Now, which one's cuter, the top equation or the bottom equation? The bottom. Okay, so we'll use the bottom one. We're going to plug in x equals 2 for y equals 8x minus 12. So we're going to plug in 2 for the x. It's up to the kid. It's up to the individual. Some people, they notice graphing sometimes is nicer. All right, so your solution.
Y equals 4.
2 comma 4.
So that's it?
That's it. That's your solution.
What about number 3?
Do you guys want me to do number 2 or number 3?
Do both of them.
All right, I'll do number 2. Cody. All right, same thing. Set them equal to each other. Which x is bigger? Which x is bigger, 3x or negative 7x?
3x.
3x. 3 is bigger than negative, right?
It's on the positive side.
All right, very good. So
3x minus 2 equals negative 7x plus 8.
the reason we do that is so that when we isolate our variable, we don't have negatives. So how do you get rid of, again, we want x equals some number, right? So let's get rid of this negative 2 also. What you do to one side? Gotta do the other. Make sure you guys combine the right terms, okay? So 3x plus 7x, 10x. What's 8 plus 2? And then how do you get rid of a multiplying 10?
Divide.
What you do on one side?
Do the other.
Very good. Now, which equation's cuter, the top one or bottom one? Which one's cuter, this one or this one? The top one. Okay, so let's plug back in x to solve for y. So 3x minus 2, instead of x, it's 3 times 1. What's 3 times 1? And what's 3 minus 2? So there's your second half of your answer. So your solution is at 1, 1. You guys can do this, by the way. If you don't like graphing, you can always do this. The teachers on the other day, they were like, do we want to grade our kids if they do it a different way? I'm like, nah, like, if they do it right, they do it right. It doesn't matter how. All right, does anybody have any questions? You got it. I'm not moving it. You want me to go a little bit this way? Okay. This ability, by the way, you guys will use it for the next 2 years at least. Okay. At, like an ampersand. Like where you at. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I use this a lot, the ampersand. It's at. So your solution's at 1, 1. Okay? All right, so what do you guys notice I do? I set them equal to each other, solve for x, right? Whatever you get for x, plug it back into either one of the equations, get your y, then you're done. X, y. Just like with graphing, except more algebra than just pretty picture. Sometimes the graph could suck. Other times, the algebra is way better. It just depends on the situation. Sometimes graphs have fractions or decimals, and you're just like, ugh. Of course. Okay. You guys ready for me to go to the backside?
There's a backside.
I already did.
Number 3 and 4 are purely for you.
Oh.
Okay. If you want to put 1x instead of just x, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. In fact, that would probably be the more British way of doing it. I would totally condone it. A lot of American kids get confused with x and 1x. And again, this concept, this discipline, for the next 2 years easily. Okay? Even in other classes, other science classes, solving for x like this is a big deal. Okay? All right, all good? All right. If you guys look at number 5, do you guys notice how it doesn't look the same as number 1 and 2? It doesn't do the whole y equals something, right? Instead, it's like standard form and then slope-intercept form. You guys ready? Isis, you guys ready?
Yeah.
You guys ready? Okay. Notice how this guy says y equals this. Notice how there's a y here. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to plug in this into there. So let me show you what I mean. We had negative 4x minus 8y. Didn't they say y equals 8x minus 19? So I'm just going to plug it in for y. Do you guys see what I did? I just plugged in 8x minus 19 for that y, because y is that. Okay? All right, parentheses means what? Multiply. So 8 times 8, 64x, right? But it's a negative, because negative 8 times positive 8x, right? What's negative 8 times a negative 19? It's definitely a positive. That's what? 80 plus 72? So grab your calculators. Calculators can get you through this real quick. What's 8 times 19? They're both negative, so it's got to be a positive, right?
19.
Yeah, 8 times 19. 8 times 19. Good. Can we combine these two terms? Can we combine the x's? Good. Let's see. How do we get rid of the number here? How do we get rid of plus 152?
Negative.
Yep. What you do to one side? All right, calculators at the ready. What's 16 minus 152? 16 minus 152. 130, negative 136?
It's just 132.
Well, it's negative, right? Yeah. This is what we were doing yesterday, except minus the graph. Because we're trying to figure out when these two functions will be the same or intersect. It's okay. We're going to spend all week on it. You'll get plenty of practice, okay? Yes. Yesterday you did it that way. You did graphing. This is solving. Okay, you could always solve by graphing if you really want to. Okay? It's always an option. Okay, how do you get rid of a multiplying negatives? Divide, right? What's 136 divided by 68? They're both negative, right? So you should get a positive 2. All right, it is the uglier type of problem. We'll see if the next one's prettier. Sometimes they're pretty, sometimes they're a little chunky, but just depends. It depends. Like sometimes you're going to see something awesome and you're going to be like, oh, this is too much. I'm not saying anything. Okay, we're halfway there. Question: which equation is cuter, the top one or the bottom one? The bottom, right? We're looking for y anyways. Might as well use y equals that, right? So let's use y equals 8x minus 19. X was what? 2? So we're going to plug in 2 for x. What's 8 times 2? What's 16 minus 19? Yeah. So, there you go. So your solution is at 2 comma negative 3. Done. Yeah, I got you. Is that good? Yeah. Hey. I know what you're thinking. It looks like a lot. I want you to know the process, super important for you, for like the rest of the year, easily. Even in geometry, you will still use this. Even plugging it back in, okay? If you master this, you master at least 40% of this year and next year, easily.
I thought next year we learned Pythagorean theorem.
That was 8th grade, but applying the algebra, you still need to know this. Okay, guaranteed.
Why did that kid wear that? Oh my goodness. I saw the dog and I was like, you have a brother?
All right, one more example. Which one? 6?
No. 7.
7? You guys are okay with that? Number 7? Okay. So, as you can see, they already tell us y equals this, right? So we're just going to plug it in for y, that y. So we're going to have 9x plus 3 times whatever y was already. I'll leave it there. All right, ISIS, parentheses means what? Parentheses means what? What do we do with parentheses? Yeah, they go first, and we also multiply, right? So we're going to multiply 3 times negative 3x and 3 times negative 17.
Please excuse my dear and Sally.
Very good. All right, what's 17 times 3? Should have got negative 51.
I can't see it.
And also, I just realized I made a mistake. Do you guys see it?
Wait. Can you move it down?
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's not. There we go. That's where I made my mistake. Oh, this is nice. Do you guys see what I see? How do you get? Can I combine the x's?
No.
What's 9 minus 9?
Oh, 0.
0. Let's add this 51. Bye, kiddos.
I.
Does 0 equal 0? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Do you guys notice how the x's cancel each other out? And if you add the 51 over here, it cancels out with the negative 51? So how many solutions do we have? All right, you guys ready to get freaked out? You guys ready to get freaked out? Whenever you get a true, is this a true statement? 0 equals 0. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, 0 equals 0 is true. What does it mean in terms of solutions? Watch this. You had what? Y equals negative 3x minus 17. And you had what? 9x plus 3y equals negative 51. Question, what if I divide everything by 3 here? Just watch. Just watch. You don't have to write it. Just watch. How do you get rid of this x, this 3x? Just watch, guys. Ronald, just watch. What do you guys notice? So whenever you're solving and you get a true statement, that means you have infinite amount of solutions. That is your answer. Now, what if it's a false statement? What if it was like 4 equals 8? What if it was a false statement? What if it said 4 equals 8?
I don't know.
Is 4 equal 8 a true statement?
No.
So instead of being infinite solutions,
You want
no solution.
Oh, yeah, nice.